Welcome to the Pull Up a Chair show. I'm Dr. Krysti Wick.
And I'm Dr. Grinaker.
And we are here to let you in on our in-depth conversations on chiropractic practice, personal development, leadership, and business excellence.
If you are needing inspiration, motivation, clarity, or permission in any of these areas of your life, we're glad you're here. Pull up a chair.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Pull Up a Chair. I am Dr. Krysti Wick.
And I'm Dr. Grinaker.
And we have a little mindset moment episode for you today. So just like all of you, we both, our social media platform of choice is the Instagram for both of us. And so if we are, looking for some inspiration, some of the people that we love listening to our podcast, that kind of thing, we certainly are consuming business, entrepreneurial, self-development things on our Instagram often. In fact, we send things back and forth to each other pretty frequently. And earlier this week, Gary Vee had a really short video, and I'll see if I can find it, and so that I can post the link in the show notes, because this is the kind of the inspiration for the episode today. But basically, he was talking about how he is often asked, especially by younger generation, how they can stay positive in this world where they feel like they open up their social feeds and everything is negative. And he basically was like, the algorithm works in your favor, and the algorithm is going to be a reflection of what's going on with you. So if you choose to open up whatever social media and start typing in positivity, business growth, expansion, abundance, whatever it was, right? That's what you're going to start getting on your feed as soon as you wake up the next morning. And that just led me to think a lot about our profession, because I don't know about all of you guys, but if any of you are in any of the big free Facebook groups, I feel like every day I see just like posts that really make me sad about wanting to leave their profession and feeling like you can never make it. And, this isn't coming from a place of judgment. This is coming from a place of like true, like I understand what it's like to not know what you need. But honestly, there's lots of resources available to help you get from where that place is to where you want to go. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about some ideas for that, if that ever happens for you.
Yeah, and I think the idea of it is you can start feeding that, but also to know that like what fills you up and what takes away from it, and start doing that. Like, okay, if I'm going to be on here and if I'm going to scroll for a bit, we all know how that kind of mind melts you a little bit, is what can I do to actually feed myself with those things? Who do I need to follow? Who do I need to unfollow? Who do I need to make sure I'm channeling more of? And I love that, like you said, Krysti, it is a reflection of us. And if we feed ourselves those good things, then we will get that back to us in there. And I think we've both had periods where we just shut it off for a while, or we have to be careful about what we're letting consume us. So you have to be cognizant of that too. Is that if something's not serving you or it's taking you down a path, well, then stop, right? Either stop looking at it, or like Krysti said, start feeding it more of the things that you want to see. So it's starting to be a reflection of what it is you need to grow, to feel good, to fill you up, all those wonderful things.
So one of the first like tangible, actionable things that you can do is just, if hopefully there's already some good positive things in your feed right now when it comes to what you need for practice growth or business growth, make sure that you like or comment on all of those things, because then the algorithm is going to start showing you more of that. Like, I am obsessed with quotes, like the graphics that you see with, several sentences about growth or whatever it is. And every single one that I really love, I like, so that I just keep getting more of those. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see like I always am posting those on my stories, because I want other people to get that same, like if you're a words person, you're going to get that hit every single time you see something that really resonates with you. So you have to be active. If you're using social media and you want it to really serve you, you have to make sure that you're actually liking and commenting on the things that you want to see more of. And then like Jake was just mentioning, like remove the things that you're not. I mean, there might even be like family members that you are following that you feel like every time you see something, you feel drained, or, they're not aligned. Like, you don't have to unfollow them, but maybe you mute them so that, it's not something that you are seeing on a regular basis, so that you can be really cautious about your energy. And I think that's one big thing we want you to keep in mind if you're listening to this episode. What we do is energetically very sacred, and it does take a lot of intention and attention from you to be a really great chiropractor. And so if you're not really like disciplined about your boundaries outside of the energy exchange when you're with patients, in my opinion, it's infinitely harder for you to be the best chiropractor you can be when you are with patients, because you have all these energy drains in other areas of your life because you're not conscious and you don't have good boundaries. So
And I think where, to me, where that dovetails by is that why is that important, right? Is that okay? Like you fill yourself up, do that. Why is it important? Two things. One, I think what your energy that you bring to patients and all that stuff is totally makes a difference, right? Raise your hand if you ever walked into the office with no energy and felt the difference if you walk in the energy with positive energy, what the schedule look like, the team, all those kind of things. So make sure you're conscious of it for yourself. Like, what is it doing for you to get your energy up, your positivity up? But the other thing that we were talking about before we hit record on here is the importance that you bring that positivity to your team, right? Is that even in times of chaos, even if their things aren't going well in the practice right now, or you're unsure of a few things, you have to be the pillar of sure. You have to be the one that's confident, that has a direction, that says, we got this, positivity, we're moving in the right direction. You have to bring that to your team because they rely on that. It's one of the most important things as a leader you can bring is that sense of positivity in their lives. And that's offline, right? That's not, you don't have to send them memes or that kind of thing unless that's part of it for you. But in your team meetings, as you walk in the office, are you radiating that sense of positivity, energy, we got this? Because that will make a massive difference in your practice if you're bringing that to your team and to your patients as well.
yeah, so that is a huge piece that you can make sure that you are keeping in mind as you move forward. And really, like the third and the last thing we want to remind you of is that there are so many people that serve in this profession that can help. And oftentimes you're just like one vulnerability moment away from someone helping you with exactly what you need to move past a plateau, or to finally figure out something that's been creating a challenge in your practice for years and years. And both we get what it's like to not, be the person, whatever story it is that's you're telling in your head of like, oh, they're too busy, I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to look stupid, or that's a silly question I should have figured out a while ago. Whatever it is that is preventing you from just being vulnerable and asking someone that maybe you look up to in the profession that is very successful, asking them about what you're struggling with. Both of us have had moments in our career where we just put that aside and we just asked the question that we needed to ask and we laid it out there. And, I'm not going to tell you that every leader in this profession is going to help you for free, but I do think that a lot of leaders in this profession, would take 5 minutes and send you an audio, back on Instagram to give you some thoughts. I think that's possible. And so it might honestly be just what you need just to ask, even if you don't get a response, because oftentimes it just requires us to stop telling these silly stories that we tell ourselves in our brain that, like I said, it could be a million things. It could be something deep down that you feel like you're not worthy of success, or you never grew up seeing what money flow looked like. So you have a scarcity complex. Like there's a million reasons why it could be happening. It could only take one time for you just to be willing to ask for what you need, or ask for what needs to happen to get you to your vision, in order to finally start telling the universe, your creator, whatever you believe, that expansion is evident and can happen for you. And it breaks my heart when I see people not willing to just take that step and kind of repeating the same cycle over and over because of whatever is happening up here.
Yeah. Such an important thing. And I think sometimes with this kind of stuff, we tend to like, poo-poo it a little bit, but this sets the tone. I can promise you, if you do this in the day, it will set the tone for your day. It's so massively important.
So, what can you do to make sure that you have the right things coming into your brain, the right things in front of you visually? You are the keeper of your environment. And so, you are the only person that can control those boundaries. You can control what you're consuming. And so, if you feel like you're surrounded by a lot of negativity, then what is your next step? to change that, to evolve, get the answers you need, get the resources you need to be able to move forward in a way that is going to help you grow and get to whatever vision is, has been maybe eluding you for a long period of time, because you could literally just be a few tweaks away in your boundaries and your vulnerability to actually starting to see change in your income, in your potential, in your impact in your community. So we hope that you take action on some of these suggestions. They could be really quick and easy for you and make a huge impact. And we will see you on the next episode of Pull Up a Chair.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to the Pull Up a Chair show.
Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the show on your favorite platform, make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss an episode.
If you found value in today's episode, please share it with a colleague. We would be honored.
To connect with us, you can find us on IG at The Pursuit Kairos, or you can email us at connect@thepursuitkairos.com.